Well, welcome back, or welcome for the first time to Does This Work? It's a comedy podcast, and I'm here with a Perth local, born and raised. He's not only an MC and a comedian, he's an actor. He's an all-round awesome guy. He's been in projects like Invisible Boys, He Ain't Heavy, Mystery Road Origin.
Damn.
This guy's got quite the rap sheet. He's also hilarious, and I'm assuming great in the sack. Blake Richardson.
Thanks so much, man. It was all good until the last. You tripped on the final bit. Great on the sack.
Your missus in the comments will be like, I got a problem with it.
I don't know what you're sourcing this. Bless you, bro. That's a lovely intro. Thanks for getting the IMDb up. That's cool.
Thank you. Yeah, it was ChatGPT and IMDb. So they work in tangent to find me the best information.
We got to update that stuff. I'm glad I didn't catch any of the sweet gay porn titles.
That's all that my own personal AI.
My breakout stuff.
Yeah. That's me running your picture into AI going, make this guy smoke the biggest cock.
It's a deep fake. It's like, doesn't have any AI symbols on it. But, yeah, man. Good to be here, bro.
Yeah, thank you for joining me, man. Did you have to drive far at all?
No, man. I'm in Balladura, so it wasn't too bad. So
because I say Edgewater pizza people, and they're like, where?
Oh, really?
Yeah, like a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people that would come would be like,
oh, they're like south and shit.
Yeah, they're south, and they're like,
true,
I didn't know this place existed.
I knew. I was pleasantly surprised. Yeah. I was like, Edgewater. Dope, bro. This used to be the end of the freeway, and now it's quite central. It's like somehow close to the city now.
Yeah, that's it. It's 18 minutes from here to the Comedy Lounge.
That's a blast,
So
bro.
it's great. And it feels a lot like further away.
And only 18 more to park.
That's awesome. That's it. And about $18 an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, thank you again for joining me, man. I don't know when. I might push yours out for sooner. You know what I mean?
Sure, bro.
Yeah, who knows?
You can sit on it, fucking push it out, delete it, whatever you want to do. My time is yours.
But Blake is one of my first guests who has a similar sort of career path as me. In fact, I did mention this the first time we met, but I used to hear your name all the time before we met. And I would tell people like, oh, I've got an acting background, I do music as well. I'm like, oh, you're like Blake Richardson. And I'm like, I guess,
How
but
dare they?
who knows? And then I meet you, I'm like, oh man, this guy's like, yeah, but super successful, more than my shitty commercials and shit. Though.
God bless you, bro. That's so sweet. I mean, I wish I had your voice as my inner dialogue. It'd be so much nicer. So much less crying on the shower floor. I mean, look, I came into the scene, I don't know, it would have been like 2022, I think I did Raw was like my first thing. And I come from an acting background, and it was like COVID, and COVID just never seemed to be going away. Just kept getting, further and further on. And stand-up was something I wanted to do for a long time. And I was just like, I just think I need to, just get this itch out of me, just do something. And I did Raw, and it went great. It was like one of those like things. It doesn't happen all the time, but it's like the first few jokes that I wrote happened to just be like, just ready to go. Like they were ready to close. There was no fat on them. They were just sick. And then, I had a good 5 minutes. And then a lot of bookers were like, oh, cool. Like, we'll get you to do like 5s and 10s or whatever. Yeah, great. So I hit the ground running pretty fast. And then I quickly learned about like how hard it is to actually keep going and write. Because everything else I wrote after that for the next year was dog shit.
Well,
absolute trash.
Curiosity, how did the other comics feel about, or how did you feel their vibe about you achieving?
People straight up told me they hated me.
Yeah, all right, cool.
People told me they straight up hated me. I mean, it was so funny because like we're on good terms now, but Frankie Rosethorn like straight up was just like, I don't like this guy.
Yeah, wow.
Was telling Pinder, and then Pinder and I became like good friends. But he was like, why don't you like him? And she's just like, I just think he's a fake. I just don't know. It's like he comes in, he's too confident. He just thinks he's fucking all this or whatever. And I'm like, I get it, dude. I get it.
Well, when I came in, I very similar. So I'm so glad you're here because I feel like it's very similar.
You hated me too, fair.
I hated you. No, I came in and from when I started stand up.
Yeah.
I had my first paid gig at the Lounge.
Yeah.
3 months after it.
Sure.
So it was very quick, and then I was getting along with everyone fine, but then that happened, and I was like, I just felt this like shift of like, who the fuck are you? Bro. Yeah. But having said that, and then I did a few more paid spots here and there, and then I think when Sarah left the Comedy Lounge, and then there was like a reshuffle. I think they were like, oh well, let's scrap everything and start again. You know what I mean? And then so I haven't gone back since. But that was great, a great sort of first. Few steps, and that was one of the reasons where like it was people like Dan Ward were like, oh man, it's like like Blake Richardson, he came in and did really well really quickly as well, and I'm like, I'm much more of a piece of shit than Blake Richardson, I'm sure.
Oh dude, I think if you have a similar path to me, I think what it is, if you have a background in acting, I mean, you have there's an ease to like the skill of I'm saying this for the first time.
Right.
You know, because actors, I mean, realistically what we do in a simple form is we turn like written word into like, I'm saying this for the first time.
Yeah.
That's the whole job, right?
Yeah.
To make it sound like you're just doing this
off the cuff
for the first time. So that skill, we have that already. We put the reps in. So you naturally have stage presence, a little bit of confidence, whatever. But what we don't have is, you know, all the other tools that come with stand-up, like, you know, just things you have to learn through the reps, like, you know, how to get an audience on side, how to earn their trust, you know, how to write a good joke, how to, you know, tie everything together, what makes a great set, you know, what's relatable, how are you perceived, all these kind of things. So we get a lot of advantages, I think, right off the bat, but then you've got to earn your stripes in the other areas of stand-up. I actually had Jock Barrett. Have you met Jock? Yeah, I mean, I love Jock. He's one of the great dudes in Australia, and I remember I was really ashamed about that. Like, I would just constantly be like, yeah, I know how to fucking talk, but I don't know how to write a joke to save my life. I don't have punchlines. I just do faces and voices and go like, eh, and hopefully they like me. And he was like, yeah, bro, but that's like, it's one or the other. Some people have the opposite where they start and they're great joke writers, but they have no stage presence.
Right.
And they got to figure that out. So it's like, you're not special. It's just one or the other. You either start with that one and have to learn the other skills, or you start with those skills and have to learn the other. Right. So I'm kind of at peace with it now. I'm like, whatever. I still kind of suck at writing jokes, but you know, I'll just keep doing it until someone's like, stop, man. And also the audience will tell you if it's shit, they'll just be like, and I have bombs, like everyone bombs.
Yeah.
And I also think the not liking you stuff goes away.
Yeah.
I just think it's just like, there were people that didn't like me because I was just too energetic too, even with the pros, and I was like, hey guys, like, how good is comedy, right? Like, relax, bro.
Are we all blessed to be here?
Yeah, you're just way too much. Way too much. You know, I love that fucking bit you do, and they're like, thanks, man.
Yeah.
You're just not relaxed, you know. And then if you stick around long enough, everyone's just kind of like, I guess this guy is not just a flash in the pan. And they just see you suffer a little bit too, and they're like, oh, he gets it now. He gets that this is just fun. We're just trying to...
I think there is something where it's like, well, when you see someone new on the scene, you're like, oh, let's see how he goes.
Yeah, I get it. I try not to be like that. I mean, if someone new comes along in the scene that I like their stuff and they're a fun hang, I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Please keep going. Because, I mean, number one, fun hang is so rare. Like, the types of people that are drawn to this are fucking weird, bro. Like, of all kinds of weird, you know? So if someone's funny and they're fun to be around, then I'm like, yeah, keep going, dude. Yeah. But also, I get it if you don't.
Yeah. I'm far too old and too new, which is a weird combo in comedy, to think anyone's too new or too whatever to do it. I'm like, I'm welcome everyone. And like same as you, like there's a guy who came over from Singapore, I think, who had like just a killer bit. And I was like, bro, that was awesome. I love that bit. I didn't see it coming. It was like, you know how like I say this often, like, comedians will never laugh at your jokes. You tell a comedian your joke, and most they'll give you is like a... I see what you did there.
You would be better, actually, if you did this, and then you threw a rape in there somehow. It's like, oh, that would be funny for no one.
And did you find that your first jokes were offensive, like how most new comics were?
Not at all. No, I went it's like kind of like that, and this sounds very elitist, but it's like Pinder and I would always talk about, like, I always had my favorite comics were silly. I didn't really understand that's what it was, but I love silliness. Yeah. In whatever form that comes out. It can be absurd. It can be like really physical on stage. Yeah. I love imagery. I think because I'm a creative person too, like comics who would use imagery and stuff like that, I'd be like, oh, it's so, what the fuck? That was crazy. I just love silliness. I don't really like, you can be clever, but if you're dark and you're edgy, if it's silly, that's fun to me. But if you're just like, I don't know, I just never was into, you know, just like, oh, I shouldn't have said that, huh? I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't have. And it's like, you didn't really land it either.
You guys hated that one, didn't you?
Oh, fuck. You know, and look, but don't get me wrong, it doesn't matter about the subject matter or whatever it is. If it lands, it lands. If it doesn't, it doesn't, whatever. But I never started with that energy. I was always kind of just, you know, kind of like gay, I guess. I was just silly. I was just gay. I was just kind of like, hey, what's up? You know, I was androgynous on stage. Weird. I never actually addressed my sexuality, but it was just kind of this energy of like, this guy's a goof. Yeah. You know, I don't know how to feel about this dude. You know, flirt with a guy in the crowd and just basic things. And I'm figuring it out as I go, man. Like I'm 3 years in now, and like I'm now trying to transition. Like I've headlined clubs, and I've done awesome. Like, you know, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I think as long as I was like 35 or something like that. And I've cycled through multiple bits of material, but now I'm trying to transition into like talking about what I want to talk about. Yeah. Because at first you just want to be funny. Yeah. And it doesn't matter what the subject matter is.
I love that.
You'll just piece it all together. It'll be like laundry, and then like, a dick joke and then this, and you just try and make that into 5 minutes. Whereas now I'm trying to talk about more things that I'm actually thinking of and then make that funny.
Yeah.
Which is the next, I guess, phase.
That's cool, man.
Because it got to a point where it was super mechanical for me, where like I was just having to get through gigs. Like I was like, fuck, okay, I'm just going to give him the bangers, give him the thing I know works. I'm going to do the, and I just wanted it to work. I didn't want to fight for it.
Yeah.
And it would work. Sometimes you would crush and I would just walk off and be like, yeah, cool, it worked. Like it's worked before. But now I'm kind of back in a phase where I'm like, ooh, this will be fun. Like I hosted the Gong Show last Thursday and I wrote a joke on the way to, as I was driving there. I had like the pieces of it because I'm just getting over a cold and I had cold and flus and I just was like, fucking cold and flus are incredible. Like I just have an idea. That's how it usually starts for me. I'm like, cold and flus are amazing. It's essentially like a little mild form of meth.
Yeah.
That's what's in there. So I was just trying to piece it together. And as I was driving to the lounge, I kind of found an angle and I was like, I'm going to fucking do it tonight. Why not? Like I'm literally about to go on stage.
Yeah.
And I closed on it and it worked. And I'm like, that shit was like, that's fucking sick.
Yeah.
As opposed to I could have closed on something that I know works. I've done it for a year. So I'm getting back to that phase of like, that's what's exciting.
And it's cool because then on the flip side of that, there's a lot of comics, who I don't write much anymore. I don't sit down and try and write. I used to sit down for hours and try and mine for material. But then, and I try some stuff out and then you'd work at it and get better or whatever and it becomes a fully fledged bit. But then sometimes, like you said, you're driving in the car and a bit comes to you and it's the best thing you've written or it's
just ready to go.
Or it's ready to go and you put less effort in than this like mining for material stuff. Yeah. So that's, I mean, do you find that this stuff comes to you now or do you like you have to work for it?
Bro, I mean, look, I'm just coming out of a phase where like I just wasn't doing stand-up for like most of this year.
Well, acting sort of took a...
It did. Well, I mean, look, I did this big movie.
Yeah.
It finished in December last year, which is fucking crazy. It was almost a year ago.
Yeah.
And this was sort of like my big break. It still hasn't come out. It's coming out in March or April, pending. But, on the back of this big movie, I was kind of like, okay, well, I want to... If this is the momentum that's happening, because it's so hard to get momentum in acting, I want to just make sure I'm doing everything I can to make the most of whatever these opportunities that are going to come. And so I went to LA and I signed with like, really, really good US agents and managers over there. And, then I started hitting the ground running with like a lot more auditions. And I just wanted to keep my energy. When an audition would come through, I didn't want to be working on a new 5 and running around doing, because I do so much different shit. I was like training MMA, training jiu-jitsu. I was hosting MMA shows. I was just spread too thin, just doing too much stuff. So anyways, I was just like, stand up is not serving me right now. Don't worry about that shit. I just stopped accepting gigs and I just went all in on acting shit, and that was fine, but it was almost like a fear. It was really a fear thing.
Yeah,
I was just so worried because you can't control what's going to happen with acting and all that stuff in the arts. So I just was like, I need to fucking make sure that I'm doing everything I can.
Yeah.
And now I've relaxed and been like, dude, it's fine. You can still do stand up.
Yeah.
You just need to do a good audition when it comes up. You're fine.
Yeah.
You don't need to be fucking ignoring all these gigs. So now I'm back and I'm right into trying to write. But I've always been bad, to answer your question, with forcing myself to write. I'm terrible. If I sit down, now I'll do it. I'll just like, if I have an idea, I'll just type it out and I just accept that whatever the garbage that is it's progress.
Yeah.
And it helps. But like I said, like those are my favorite, just driving. And this, I'm telling you, like the punchlines were already there.
Yeah.
Everything was fully formed. It's just so rare. You can't write otherwise I'll write a new 10 minutes every year.
Yeah.
But those are my favorites. And then sometimes I grind shit out.
Yeah.
And I can sell stuff with charisma and like faces and like a voice and stuff. Yeah. But, so, I don't know. I'm just figuring it out.
So in that respect, with the faces and the voices and the energy, do you feel like that is a stage persona, or do you feel like it's just your actual energy coming out and selling the joke?
I don't know. It's like a bit of both. I feel like no one told me to do that. No one told me. You know what would be funny, dude? If you were kind of like you spoke like this on stage, or you had like a little bit of a voice. Yeah. Or, it's just what is innately my instincts tell me is funny.
And you go with it.
I just go with it. I'm like, this is just funny to me to do these like voices and these faces, and it's just silly. And I don't think I'm emulating anyone in particular that I've seen, but it's definitely like, Billy Connolly-esque. It's definitely Michael McIntyre. It's kind of like, there's these more physical comics who like, Sebastian Maniscalco is a big one in the US. He kind of has the, if you watch his specials, watch his earlier ones, he's like, he presents like, the premise, and and then he like, you know, just pulls a face,
slows it right down,
and then he like, because they're doing this with the thing, and then he does like 30 seconds of this huge physical act out, and the audience are loving it. You know what I mean? But it's like, really, he's said like one bit and he's stretched it into 4 minutes with this big physical energy. And I mean, it's fucking great. Like, I love it. But then there's dudes who, you know, like Andrew Wolf, who's just like a tornado, and he'll go through like 16 punchlines in 30 seconds, and you're like, brother, I would spread that out over 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's it, eh?
You know what I mean? Like, you gotta slow down, brother. Like, that's, you know, you're firing on all cylinders.
He's often like, you risk cutting off the laughter, like, because there's often times where I've forgotten the next bit,
and then step on your own punchline.
Yeah, and then it's made the joke linger a bit longer, and then it starts to catch on a bit more, like it starts to gather, and then it gets a bigger laugh.
That's a nerves thing too. Like, you steamroll, you just go like, I said it, moving on, no chance for you to reject me. I'm on to the next one.
It's like David Tell does that, but in a very like stylized way. Like, you know, David Tell, like, he's just constantly giving you. He doesn't let you rest.
No, and there's an art to it too, because there's some people that will like literally beat you down with punchlines. Like, you haven't recovered from the previous one, and they're still fucking you up with the next one.
Yeah,
and that's and then look, I those are my favorites. I love doing that when you feel like you've got that. Like, I'll do that sometimes with act outs, and it's usually towards the closers and stuff, when you just feel like you're right on the wave, and like you've got the whole room. Like, you've got them. They're so locked in. Like, I could just turn my head to the left and like, he's a genius. I don't know how he's doing it. You know, those are the best. They're not few and far between, but they're hard. You got to work for them and get them. But that's usually for me with act outs, you know, and physical things. Very rarely is it with just like straight punchline.
And so, like, people ask me this all the time. So I'll ask you. When people ask me, what do you enjoy more, comedy or music? And I'm like, they're very different levels of kinds of enjoyment, right? So for me, music is like a very deep, personal, therapeutic. I could be playing at a pub or a bar or whatever. All these Mindside gigs that I did. It could be 3 people, it could be 200 people, and it's still fun for me to play. It's still nice. But like performing comedy and then hearing that laugh is a completely different level of enjoyment. It's like, it's an immediate response, and it's like they're there and they're listening. And so out of acting and comedy and everything else you're doing, is there a similar thing, or is different kinds of enjoyment?
Yeah, for sure, man. I would say that like screen acting for me, especially on the last job that I did, it is the ultimate thing for me. Like, it's what I'm sort of, it's what I love. It's what's in my heart. It's in my soul sort of shit. Like, it was the fucking best. Yeah. Like, more than anything. I just never been so locked in. I just never been so like waking up every day with like a sense of purpose. Like, this is the best shit. I love it. Stand up is like a close second. And I think it's different because, like, you know, same with music, with stand up, it's just coming they're getting it straight out of the tap. Yeah. But there's no need to collaborate, and everything's kind of within my control. Certain things are not, like, I can't control the room. I can't control who's in the room. I can't control what kind of crowd we've got in. I can't control how much they're drinking. All these things you got to figure out as part of the craft. But realistically, I control what I'm saying, how I say it, how I present it. Yeah. And I love that. I love that element of control. And you get the reward. It's immediate. Like, if you do the right thing, you get the response. Whereas with acting, so many things need to go right in order for you to even get your chance to do it. And then when you actually get to do it, now there's 50 more things that are out of your control that stop it. You know, like, they could just edit it out. The director could just be like, I want you to do it this way. And you're like, but that's just fucking, I don't even understand why you'd want me to do that, you know? Or the writers are this and this. The whole project can get fucking canned, you know? It can get, so in that way, it's kind of a complicated answer, I guess, but it's like, I love what the environment of stand-up is like. Like, it's so much more control and that feeling. But when everything goes right with acting and I get to actually do the thing within the confines of it, that shit is still the fucking best to me. Yeah. But it does largely depend on the project. Like, I've done shows. I did an Aussie TV show where I was like, I knew on day one, I was like, this is going to be fucking horrific. Like, luckily I was only there for like a 2-3 day shoot, and I was a small character in this show, but I was like, I got there and they were micromanaging me so much, and the writing was bad, that I was like, holy fuck, this is insane. Like, I'm essentially just like a glorified line reader here. Like, you want nothing from me. Yeah. And that was bad, and the show was sucked. But then on vice versa, I've been on shows like Mr. Road or War Machine, this Netflix film that I did, where it was like they want your ideas, they want you to piece it together. Yeah, there's a bit of a blueprint, and they want you to have ideas, and you get to create moments with your other actors that are sort of, I guess, immortalized. If it ends up in the film, no one will know that was you took it from the page and you added some unique things to it that made it real, and it came from you, and it came from this other thing. So I mean, I just fucking love it, dude. Like,
acting's so much fun. Like, it's So what do you think about Aussie content? Right,
it's horrific.
Horrific. Okay, cool. Because like
horrific.
They just cancelled the Office, the Australian Office.
They should have cancelled it before it went on air.
This is. I keep saying this stuff. I'm like, why? First of all, why are we the last? Not just Perth, not just Australia, but Perth. Like Australia's the last to get things, but then Perth is the last to get things out of Australia.
Sure.
So I'm like, why are we just Why are we just discovering the Office now and doing our own version of it? There's a female Dwight, and there's like whatever. I'm like, just like I feel like there should be a ban.
Fucking Pam is trans. And shit. It's just like. Come on, people want to see this.
Pammy, Tronny Pammy.
I know, man.
But like, I don't know what it is about Aussie content, right? I think we went from Home and Away and Neighbours to like these, let's do our own version of these things. I don't know where I'm going with this, but like, every time something comes, there's like, a new Australian show, this is coming out. I'm like, I'd look at it, I'm like, that's going to be garbage.
Oh, yeah.
And then the other thing is like, just in Perth as well, now we're getting this big production studio here, and that's great. But do you feel like Perth still has this thing where people feel like it's somewhere to graduate from? Like you got to graduate from Perth, move somewhere else?
Australia is a place to graduate from.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, this is just my experience, But yeah, I mean, people could talk about tall poppy syndrome and all this kind of stuff, and also we're just a much smaller population. We have less money. I think it's definitely there's cultural problems with Australia in general in terms of our attitude towards ambition and originality and ideas and stuff. Like we're not a nation that rewards ambition. We don't like it. We like to back a winning horse. We don't like anything on the rise.
Yeah.
Once something's already popping and it's valuable, we're like, welcome home, my boy.
Yeah, that's right.
He's one of ours, you know. But on the way up, they're like, I don't give a fuck.
Look at this guy trying.
Yeah, kind of, And again, that can kind of, you seem like you're a fucking, you're whinging, but that's a cultural thing. In terms of like Australian content, I think that number one, even on the global scale, no one knows what's going to make money, what's going to work. And I think we are in a period right now where it's profit over product.
Yeah.
It's not always the case. I think it will change again, but right now they just want to make money. And people don't realize, but the system is always changing. The rules are always changing. Right. Like when I was watching, falling in love with acting, I was born in 95. So I was watching, like the 2000s, and then I would go back to the classics and things like that. Like there were the kind of movies and performances and films and stories that were being told that I loved acting with. A lot of them aren't made anymore. And it's because the system is different. Like, for example, I learned this recently, but like a lot of movies, they knew they weren't going to make their money back in the cinemas. They knew that it just didn't have a big appeal in the cinemas, but they knew that they could make their money back on DVD sales. Right, That was a huge thing. So like all these films where you would see like great actors in like a family drama where it was like, it wasn't exciting, but it was it didn't win Oscars, but it was a good movie. Yeah. That was great. That was a good movie. Yeah. They don't make those anymore because it's like they have no means to return their investment. And streamers are kind of doing it, but it's just guesswork. It's the balance between the business and the art. And I think Australia is even a more primitive version of that. Yeah. And, the arts are very insular and people are making art for the artists. I mean, I literally was on a phone call with an Australian director last week. I'm on hold for this like Australian horror film that might go ahead. And, he was immediately venting to me about, the industry and Screen Australia and how, things will not get made unless you tick certain boxes, which is interesting because it's like, well, that means that only those types of stories are being made. They don't really see it that way, but it would sort of be like, if you got this story, it's got to have like a strong female character. We've got to have a queer character in there. We've got to have X, Y, and Z. And it's like, well, now it's no longer that story. Yeah. It's fine to have those stories, but does every story have to have that? And that's sort of how they're operating. There's even, I found out, I mean, again, this is what I heard from the director, that they have to take a consensus on the sexuality of the crew.
Right.
They have to have a percentage of their crew has to identify it in a certain way.
Yeah.
Completely not based in merit or anything like that, but it's
Yeah.
like, hey, you holding the light, are you gay? And it's just like, I'm gay. It's like, you better be. Kiss that dude. Kiss that motherfucker right now. You know, I don't know. So, and I understand to an extent that the intention that it's like we want to represent and we want to have all this kind of stuff, but it's that classic, you know, equality of opportunity versus equality of outcome. And ultimately what's not being put first is the story and the product. And no system is perfect. Of course, everyone's like, you know, you just always want the best person for the job. But it's art. It's subjective, and there is the business side of things. So it's brutal, man. But I never saw myself in a lot of Australian content. Like, I've been in a few Australian shows and a few Australian films, but, you know, I've got a particular kind of look. It's like I've got big googly eyes, but I'm kind of like, I'm white, but I'm not. It's a kind of like a mix. So I think, you know, the Australian content you see is like outback shows.
Right.
It's like beach culture shit. Or there's like a racist dude, or it's like, you know what I mean? It's just like, so which one are you in these 5 stories we always tell?
Yeah.
Which one are you? It's like, I'm probably the bad guy.
But which is ironic though, because then those 5 things you need to be like, doesn't quite fit in with how many boxes they need to tick.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all of that changes once you have money and you're the commodity now. So, which is why, you know, the graduate thing.
Yeah.
If you circumvent the Australian industry and you go off, and it's hard, but if you make a name for yourself in the US where there's more opportunity and there's more stories to be told and there's more money and all those types of things, if you do that, then you can return to Australia and be a part of whatever you want.
Right.
And they will just fit you in now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you do a couple of big US shows and you're like, I'm kind of done, or a big US film, and kind of have a career there. And then you come back and you're like, I think I'd just like to... They'll just build shows around me now because you're valuable.
Yeah.
And people will watch it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As Chris Hemsworth can do whatever the fuck he wants in Australia if he chooses to.
Right.
Because it's like, whatever the project is, we'll just insert him in it. And now we have the funding.
But I feel like you're quite marketable as a comedian and an actor as well.
Yeah, sure.
Like, you should... Are you like... do you feel like you...
I don't know.
capitalize?
I mean, it's again, the things always move. Yes, it's a skill set, but at the same time, perception is a thing. So, for example, on this War Machine role... to give people a little bit of context, the film is basically about US soldiers going through RASP, which is Ranger Assessment Selection Program. So essentially like US Army soldiers trying to become US Rangers, which is kind of like the Navy SEALs, but for the Army. And we're in this selection process, and it follows the main star, which is Alan Richardson, who plays Jack Reacher.
Oh, cool.
And he's like an older guy who's trying to get into the Rangers. And then there's like a core unit of people throughout the start of the film who actually make it through to the final unit. And I'm one of these guys. And we go on like a final assessment mission, which is like a fake mission, which is supposed to be all fake. And then shit goes down and the whole film kind of unfolds from there. But my guy was the sort of second lead who doesn't like Alan's character in the movie. So it's like we're at odds. I think I should be the leader. Alan's obviously fucking 6'5" and jacked and a Superman. So a little bit of that going on. And it was great because I got to have like a lot of, I got to show a lot of colors on the palette. Like I got to be funny. I got to sort of have, you know, a bit of action, bit of hero shit, be a bit of a jerk, all this stuff. So I got to show quite a lot.
That's
which
huge, man.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was amazing. And it was a great opportunity. But so many things had to align for that to work out. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I had to, you know, give a performance that the directors were like, yeah, I think that's kind of the guy. But also I was based in Australia. I'd done just enough Australian stuff that like Netflix could justify, okay, I don't know who the fuck this kid is, but he's done something. Plus I was cheaper to hire because I was Australian based. This was being shot in Australia, which means that they were getting tax incentives and tax breaks, but that also came with the condition that they need to hire a certain percentage of Australian based talent. So if that's not there, I don't get the job.
Right.
They already had a star for the movie to sell it, which is Alan Richardson. So it's so many things have to align other than just like, I'm good. You know? So there was that.
I mean, it should blow. I mean, he's doing a lot at the moment. So I feel like that would be huge for you because like, people will see a movie with him in it, or a TV show like Jack Reacher and stuff.
And they'll be like, fuck yeah, let's watch that.
And then, but you're right there with him, next to him, as the lead with him. So then they're like, fuck, who's this guy? He's even better than Alan Richardson.
Yeah, these are the fantasies that I masturbate to quite frequently.
I'll record some of these for you to jerk off.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, look, man, I think the death of happiness for me lately, and for all actors and artists, is the word surely, because there's this idea that you're like, well, surely this means A plus, B equals X, whatever. It doesn't. Nothing means anything. The fact that I've done this big movie, it just means that I did a big movie.
Right.
And I'm in a better position to book more work after than I was before.
Yeah.
But all these things still need to align. And the movie needs to come out and it needs to do well. And how am I edited in the film? Like, I'm a big role in the movie, but I'm also a big role in an Alan Richardson movie.
Yeah.
It's going to be told from his perspective. Yeah. He's the star. Like, if it's not on Alan, it might cut to me for a little bit and then, okay, that guy's doing whatever. Yeah. And then it's back to Alan, how he's feeling. Because he's a fucking star. Yeah. So you can't get it twisted. You have to manage expectations. You have to take the opportunities as much as you can and do what you can with the opportunities and not be, negative, I guess. But you need to manage expectations. I can't just be like, honey, buy the boat. Don't worry about it. Yeah. We're going to have millions coming in.
Surely.
Surely. And there's no timeline on it, So I can't even remember what my original point was talking about with War Machine, but it was a previous question you had. But yeah, anyways, I mean, doing that was just like a dream come true. And to be honest, this last 12 months has been probably the hardest I've ever had of my entire acting career. It's been fucking mentally brutal. And I've only just recently come to terms with why. It's like this whole year has been a come down. Yeah. Like I had this complete dopamine reset. Yeah. I'd never actually done the thing. I'd done acting, but not to that level. Yeah. On a role like that. I mean, the budget was like $130 million. I'm opposite. I watched Alan Richardson growing up. There was a show called Blue Mountain State. He was like a football captain. It was hilarious comedy in high school. So there was that. I was like opposite Dennis Quaid and like Daniel Weber and like people that I've watched and admired for a long time. And I got to do the fucking thing and I was good at it. I loved it. And people were like, dude, you're fucking great at this. Yeah. And then they just send me back to regular life. It's fucking insane.
And I'm working at Bunnings.
Yeah, dude. And I'm just like fucking hanging the washing and answering emails and like,
But that's the side that they don't see because I've spoken to some actors. They don't see that shit. Yeah, I've spoken to some actors through my job and they're on TV shows and they're like the main characters, whatever, next to big A-listers as well. And they're like, yeah, but I come back and I'm working retail. You know what I mean? Like I still come back and do my jobs. Like it's something that you go out and do, and then it's hard, comedy and acting and music and anything performative, to stay relevant enough that people want to keep coming to see you.
Yeah, and that it's sustained, and that you know there's sort of guaranteed certainty. And look, I don't want to be inherently negative. I feel like people that'll be like, "Hey, you were in a fucking big movie. Means nothing, bro. You don't know what's gonna happen from that. It fucking sucks." It's amazing, man. And I'm actually super hopeful. I truly believe, and I have the energy that I'm going to have a huge career. Like I believe that. Otherwise, I'm in for a penny, in for a pound. I'm already in this fucking thing. I just don't know what that's going to look like. Right. I don't know what the timeline is. I don't know if this movie is it. But I am confident that over the course of my life, I will do some great things and I will get to do what I love to do. Yeah. But I also know that there's going to be periods where, like this last 12 months, where it's reality doesn't meet your expectations, and it's just this constant, tug of war, balancing things. Because I got a great life, man. I love my fiance. We want to try for a kid. I get to do comedy. I have great friends. I like who I am. Like all these things, but you could very easily hate your life just because of the perspective that I was on a big Hollywood film and I felt like I was someone for a second, and now I'm back to my normal life, which is fucking great, but it feels like I'm coming off heroin. Because it was fucking amazing. Like I'm writing about all this in my new stand-up stuff, which is a great, cathartic outlet. And I think it's an insight that not a lot of people would have, but yeah, man, this year had been particularly brutal because of that word surely. Like people in my ear like, hey man, surely this is big for you. Surely this would change things. And I'm like, you try not to let it in, but it does. You go, maybe it will change shit.
Yeah, I don't, because people do amp you up a little bit if you do well enough. But I think I don't know about you, a lot of comedians are the same as, I'm very self-deprecating. And not like really on stage. I don't go out and be like, hey, I'm a piece of shit. But off stage, I'm like, eat myself up about things.
Oh, yeah.
But then people will say like, just shit like, oh man, if like a gong. Oh, if those two went, because they're like pros. If they went there, you would have won. If that, and they were saying this shit to me all the time, and I'm like, stop, because if I was just good enough, then I would have won, or I would have done better, or Sure. My problem with my comedy at the moment is that I'm very down the middle, right? So I do well. Like people are laughing throughout.
Sure.
I get through the gong every time I do it. Mostly every time I do it, but it's never. I'm in like the top 5 or something. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So the laughs are always very safe laughs. No one's rolling in the aisles. I'm never getting complete silences. I'm never getting like shock or whatever. So it's very, very safe.
Yeah, totally.
So
I'm with you. I'm very similar.
Yeah. So there was a night I had at ECC recently where I was like, same as that you said when we started, I was like, I feel like I was just saying these rehearsed lines like an actor would.
Yeah.
With the right inflection, how you say it, you say your dialogue for the scene. You know how you're gonna deliver it.
Yeah.
And here's how you do it, and this is what gets the best response. And for a while, I felt like I was saying it, delivering it the same way every time, and it started to feel like a loop song when I play loops.
Right.
It was out of my control now. It's just autopilot. Yeah. And then I had this moment. I'm like, I just want to say something on stage. I don't want. I want to have fun. I want to be me. Talk to people.
Let's go.
I've done it once.
Yeah, sure.
Bruno told me to say it. It was a true story.
You're kind of brown, bro. So you can try and push it across the line.
Yeah. I'm half black, so I can say nig.
Yeah. Or, crazy.
But like, I just want to say something that's interesting to me to say. I don't want to just keep. And I was like, I really want to discover who I am on stage, and just get on there and have fun and not take it so seriously.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at now. Is just like I'm having a lot more fun. In fact, I'll throw some jokes away when I want to talk to an audience member a little bit. Like I'm not huge with crowd work, but it's funny how you have these things in your head that you just want to shift from what you've been doing into something to the next level.
Yeah, totally.
You know,
and you're never happy when it arrives, and then you're like,
"That's it.
We did it." But I'm like, "Yeah, but I got to transition into the next level."
Yeah,
baby.
any accolades is like I came in second place behind Nola for the WA Comedy Next Gen thing. So that was great. But then back to obscurity the next week.
Sure.
And it was
we're all in obscurity, bro.
Yeah. But it was funny because if she wasn't there, you would have won, or if
that's crazy. I don't know who's telling you this shit. Get this motherfucker out of your ear, bro. This is crazy stuff.
I don't accept any of it, and I'm like, nah, and in fact, and again, I've said this before. I'm starting to really repeat myself on pods here, but I stopped listening to my sets back. I used to record them.
Oh yeah,
just audio, and the reason was because I recorded one. And I remember the gig going pretty poorly. It got some laughs here, wasn't that great? And then I listened to it on the way home, and it actually did better than I remember.
You're like, I'm a fucking genius. And then vice versa. You're like, I crushed that one. You listen back, it's trash.
Well, the one I listened back to, and it was better than I thought, I was like, I'd rather think it was worse.
Oh, yeah?
And then work harder to make sure it was funny. I don't know.
I mean, the only thing that I know so far, man, is that I just I've thought I've discovered the way forward so many times, and then that's faded, that's fallen over, but I just keep coming back.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of a little bit of that. You just it just gets into your bone. Like if you're gonna do it, like my manager said this to me because I wanted to quit acting at one point this year, and he was just like, dude, you're not gonna quit. Even if fucking, you're not gonna quit. It's just it's in your bones. You just got to do this shit. I'm like, he's right, motherfucker. You know what I mean? It's just like you just keep returning to this fucking thing.
I did an audition today for a commercial.
They're fucking brutal.
Dos Sonia commercial.
Yeah, that'll make you want to quit. I mean, just commercials are fucking gnarly. Yeah, dude.
I did. I'm grateful that I did them.
Right.
Because I did quite a lot. I did something like 18 commercials in a 6 or something years. So there was one point where there was 3 commercials at once for different companies.
God damn.
At once. So I remember watching a chunk of TV. Not that anyone watches free-to-air TV anymore, but it was a RAC commercial and then a couple other ads later, and then there was a Lottery West commercial, and a couple hours later there was a third one.
Brother, this residuals would be fucking.
The residuals were great,
delicious.
But then I was like, I just want to do other things. And my agent now is fantastic. She's getting me great auditions. But I don't want to quit, but I have sort of in my mind let acting go a little bit.
Yeah, it's fine, bro.
I'm like, whatever. If
that brings it closer to you.
Yeah.
That's the trick.
Right? Yeah. I pretend like you don't want it.
Yeah, and then it comes back. I was like, I was joking, bro.
I did. Yeah.
This whole life is a plan B. I'll make me a star.
Well, I let it go a little bit in my head. I'm like, I'm not gonna I've never banked on it, and I've never gone. I'm gonna be it's gonna be huge. I feel like I've got something to offer with performative stuff, right?
Sure.
Whether it be comedy, the podcast, or acting, or music. That's all stuff that I would do. Yeah. Music, I'm making a full-time wage off anyway.
Yeah.
But if it came down between any of them, I'd go for comedy for sure.
Yeah, but this is the thing as well, man. And that's great that you have that awareness, but it's like, what would you do even if you knew you weren't going to win? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because that's kind of how I think about it now. It's like, okay, let's just say I quit acting.
Right.
What do I do now?
Yeah.
Do I just, all right, what do I do? It's like, whatever. Like, I'm open to anything. Like, if something comes along that I like more than acting, I'll do that. It's fine.
So, what were the movies when you were watching movies as a kid, right? Because you were 10 years younger than me. I think you were 30?
30, yeah.
Yeah, cool. So, were you around the age where you still watching VHSs?
Yeah, man. I watched VHSs like early days, and then I think it transitioned to DVDs. I don't know the exact age I was, but I remember DVDs for a long, long time. But the early days with VHS and I don't know, man. I don't know what I was like. I mean, look, I think like formatively, I remember, unsure of the age, but my dad, he was big into war films and stuff, with classics. So we would watch things like Saving Private Ryan and these great epics, where I would just be like, holy shit, like that's insane. And I remember just acting out with toy guns in the room, the classics, boy stuff. But I just always had a fantasy in my head that I was just like an actor. Like I just would always be. I remember telling people for years that I was going to be an actor and like making shit up in high school, being like, I've got an agent. They're in Sydney. They go to a different school. You don't know them.
Do you ever lie about having a girlfriend?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah,
in high school. I was a fat kid. I was a weird kid.
Oh, really? Right.
Yeah, I was a chubby kid all the way up until I lost weight a little bit in like year 12, but it was kind of too late by then. And then I got really into fitness. Like when I left high school, I found CrossFit and got in shape and stuff. But I was a fat kid. For the early days of high school, I was like, I had so much titty that my nipples were inverted. Like I had such juicy tits that my nipples were inverted. So I was a chubby kid, man, for a long time. So I didn't play sports my whole life. Nothing. I just watched movies and played games and did all that stuff. And then afterwards was like, you know what? I think I'm a little late to the party, but maybe I should turn this ship around and try. In fact, sometimes, man, and it's a reality. Like I think back to that kid who wanted to be an actor. And then I think of like me now and I'm like, it sounds kind of harsh, but I'm like, I had to kill that kid in order to give him what he wanted. Like I had to become more, which is not a nice feeling because I'm still me. And I think the things about me as a kid, I still have, and they're my favorite things about myself. But at the same time, it's like, all right, we got to figure out, we got to get you in shape. Yeah. We got to get you thinking better, you know, just better habits, better ways of approaching the world, better work ethic, all this shit. And I come from a fairly like lower socioeconomic family. Like my mum's the best mum in the world, but my dad was like a drug addict, and we don't speak to each other and all that kind of stuff. So I had to go and learn all these habits, but it was, I don't regret a thing. But I'm in a phase where like I've accomplished my dream. My dream was to be in a big movie. Yeah. And I've done it. So now my new dream is to like make a career out of this thing. So that's the new goal. But I don't feel this same sense of urgency and like, because I truly felt like I can't have kids before I achieve this dream. Right. Like, I can't do it. Like if you make me choose between, because I don't want to be a bad dad, because I know what that's like to have a bad dad, but I need to achieve this dream. Like, don't put me in between either one of them. Yeah. But now that I've done this, which is terrible, but it's just how I feel. I'm like, now that I've done that, no matter how it turns out, I've achieved that dream. Yeah. Like, how many people can say they were in a fucking massive movie like that, Awesome. So now I have a new goal and a new dream, but I'll work things around that. I'll work my happiness around that. There's not this same sense of like, I don't care what it takes. I'm like, I'll do what I have to do, but I'm going to have a family and I'm going to be happy first.
That's cool. It sounds very mentally healthy.
I think it's healthy, and that's, again, why do you want to be an actor? Why do you want to be a comedian? It usually comes from generally an unhealthy place when you're young.
Well, that's why I was wondering what was the, as a kid, like what birthed the comedy and the acting? Because I remember, same thing, just very early on going, I just want to perform. I just doing skits and shit for your parents and stuff. And then I remember like I would go down to Video Easy, Blockbuster.
All the best.
Hire 10 VHS movies. And 10 VHS is like a stack like that big. You got probably two bags. Yeah. Walk home, I'd watch them all in a weekend. It'd be The Mask, Dumb and Dumber, whatever Jim Carrey movies.
Classic.
And then like, like The Mummy, and then like...
what a film.
It's amazing. And then shit like Free Willy and stuff, what I mean? Just like, just family stuff. And then... And then it was, so movies and like film and stuff I was huge nerd. So like all this shit, it was just me printing out 3D shit, the lightsabers from Disney World. Yeah. But it was just me reliving childhood things. And then like comedy was like, I remember making a kid laugh in year one right? And going, and then like, I still remember. I don't remember the joke. It was probably a
dick joke.
Yeah, classic. Holocaust joke. You know,
you won Holocaust joke. Oh my god.
But I remember thinking just having the feeling, the memory of the feeling, going like, this is awesome, and then being class clown for the rest of school.
Yeah, you're chasing that high.
Yeah,
to that point, man. Very similar story. I don't know what it is. I think part of it was just innate. You know, I think if you like those things, you're just gonna like those things.
It's ingrained, yeah.
It's ingrained. It's kind of a genetic thing. But I also definitely remember, mainly in early days high school, like transitioning from primary school to high school, just feeling like I wasn't enough. You know, which I think a lot of kids feel, but for whatever reason, I felt it in a way that was like, I wasn't good at sport. I wasn't good at like the Australian template things that make you cool.
Yeah.
I wasn't good at footy. I wasn't good at surfing.
Yeah, don't do math.
I wasn't a good looking kid. Yeah, didn't do math. My family didn't have money. And I wasn't like a particularly good looking kid. So I was like, fuck, I need to figure out what my place is in this hierarchy and how I have some worth. Yeah. And so I clung to whatever skills I had, which was like, again, making people laugh, talking shit.
Yeah.
And I just remember being like, I'm going to be an actor. So I just kind of faked it and then I very luckily along the process, especially when I got into Whopper and drama school, when I actually learned what acting was, screen acting particularly, I was like, oh, actually, this is sick. Like, I actually really like it. I just wanted the result. I wanted the fame and all that. But then I luckily fell in love with the process along the way. But I think it was a balance of like, there was an innate drive there. And also, I don't remember any particular bullying event or anything like that. But I just felt like I wasn't enough. And I need to become enough. Like, I remember thinking, like, if I'm famous, all these bitches will see.
Yeah.
They were like, this fat kid that gives good hugs. I should have been banking on this guy the whole time. Yeah. You know what I mean? This was the hottie.
I had the same thing when I was like, I went into this like existential crisis at a very young age. It was like 12, 13.
Yeah.
Going into high school, we had college. It was year 1 to year 12.
Yeah.
And I remember I was always, again, very down the middle. Yeah. I wasn't like the most popular kid in school. Yeah. I wasn't unpopular. I was friends with everyone.
Yeah.
I was a bit of a people pleaser.
Totally.
And then I had this thing like around year 7, year 8 where I'm like, I'm sick of this charade. I don't want to be, I'm sick of this popularity game.
Time to fucking divide the...
Yeah. So when I went through my like emo phase, I started hanging out with some like less cool kids and, you know, watching The Crow on the weekends.
Dude, The Crow is one of the greatest movies ever.
It is. It's great. It's
let's talk about The Crow for 1 second because so for me, and I'm very passionate about this, Brandon Lee was like one of the, I mean, not the first, but he was like, man, he was incredible. He was like the original Heath Ledger in my opinion. Yeah. Like in terms of like he had this femininity and this masculinity.
Yeah.
He was Bruce Lee's son. He was very physical, but he also had this softness and this accessibility that not a lot of actors at the time had. And bear in mind, like this was during like, you know, the 80s and the early 90s where it was like all about action and Arnie and, you know, all those kinds of things. But he was beautiful, man. Like beautiful is the only word for it. And The Crow has no business being as good as it is.
Yeah,
it's a revenge flick. And there's, I mean, I don't know if you remember the scene specifically, but there's a scene where like, you know, he goes to kill Funboy or whatever it is, and he drags this heroin-addicted mother into the bathroom, and he makes her stare in the mirror as he drains the heroin from her arms, and he says the line, "Mother is the name for God on the lips and hearts of all children. Your child is waiting for you in the streets. Go to her." And she's like, and then goes and like tries to be a good mom. And I was like, I got goosebumps thinking about it.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's great.
Why the fuck was that in the writing room? Like, oh, you know this. So basically, I got this movie, right? And it's Bruce Lee's son, and he's gonna be. It's like an action. It's a revenge flick.
Yeah.
Like this crow, and he's
comes back to life.
He's got goth, you know. And then, anyways, I'm thinking about this one scene where like he maybe like forces a mother to face her own addiction and shames her, and then says the most poetic line of all time, and it's gonna be haunting. And Brandon Lee will do it, and it'll be amazing. And I'm like, what? Where the fuck are those movies now?
Have we got the prop gun guy in, by the way? He's not here? All right.
Yeah.
We'll
What's that? He's drunk? Oh, it's fine. I'm sure it'll be all good. Yeah, that looks like a real bullet. Whatever. We're good. We're behind on the day. Roll.
He's got a brother, right?
Yeah, exactly, man. But it's like, you know, those are the performances and those are the movies that I was like, holy shit. Like, this is incredible. What an incredible moment. I want to be a part of moments like that, you know, to put that. And the beautiful thing is you don't know if that was in the script originally or if Brandon had this great idea or if the director said, I think it could be this. And because that's the fun when you're on set. You're sort of building it as you go, even down to the very last minute.
Dude, I love that film, man.
It's an incredible film, bro.
I've watched it again and again.
It's so
even
beautiful.
As an adult. Like even the parts where he's going, the guy with the blades, I forget his name. Funboy's the only one I remember.
Funboy, yeah. No, there's who's the dude? I shagged her pig ass and she loved it. So many great lines, man.
Yeah, so when he says that, and Brandon Lee looks down like
it hurts him.
It hurts him.
Oh, dude, that's great. It's a great choice.
Yeah, the way he plays this toy, he could have just played it rage, but no, he felt it because like
it's about love. It's a love story. It's a love story. The whole thing is a love story.
Can't rain all the time. Yeah.
Oh, it's so beautiful, man. And it's like it's a love story. It's like he's so hurt, and the way he plays that.
Yeah.
I mean, Brandon had so much more to give. He was so good, bro.
Yeah.
And have you seen Big Trouble in Little China?
Yeah.
It's like him and Dolph Lundgren and shit.
Yeah,
He's funny as well.
He
had so much more to give, bro. It's a tragedy.
Did you see the shitty limited TV series, The Crow?
No, I didn't. No, and I haven't watched the Bill Skarsgård one, which is crazy because I support Bill Skarsgård because everyone's like, dude, you kind of look like Bill Skarsgård. He's a fellow bulgy-eyed bloke out there doing good shit. But no, I haven't watched it. I won't stain one of my favorites.
No, I would. I was such a big fan that I was like, did you know there's a sequel and a TV series?
Nah, man.
The TV series was this brightly lit thing,
bro,
where he was like, when he decides to become the Crow, Eric Draven's like face turns white, and then all this black paint appears on his face.
That sucks.
I was like, this is the trashiest thing, and it's so brightly. It was like a CW show. It was awful. It was early 2000s. Man. It was rubbish.
They try and make they don't look at things like we're looking at it and go, what made this great? Then we can build this with the parts that made it great. They just go, that was The Crow worked.
Yeah.
We'll just make a show called The Crow. Should we look at what made it great? Don't even worry about it. Get me a name.
We'll make it for everyone.
Make it brightly lit. Eric Draven is trans. That makes sense.
I think for 10 years or 5 years, we should stop all reboots and remakes.
Right.
And see what comes out, what original ideas come out, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it'll drive people to theaters more. Right. And I feel like it'll cause more people to write. Because at the moment, no, like you said, no one's
AI's
really...
your baby as well. They'll just be like, AI will just be like, I got you. Make me an original idea, but have elements of this in there. Just be like, gotcha.
Don't you think ChatGPT kind of sounds autistic?
He is. He's a genius.
Yeah, because my kid was watching Love on the Spectrum,
right?
And I was using ChatGPT at the same time. And it was like...
You saw some similarities?
Some similarities, because the guy on Love on the Spectrum was like, I'm doing good today, thanks. How are you? Thank you for asking. How are you doing today? And I was like, holy shit.
Giving you the same answers.
Yes.
You're a genius, Jared. This is good stuff.
I can see you were trying to write a joke. Let me try and help you with that. Yeah, it was a great movie. And then, what a crazy way to go as well.
Yeah, so I mean, like I was saying, I spoke to the armorer on War Machine about how that actually occurred, because I've heard all these theories and whatever it was, and basically, and I'll butcher this, but essentially there's two types of fake rounds in film. So you have dummy rounds and you have blanks.
Yeah.
So a dummy round, for example, is one where it has because the way obviously a bullet works is you have the casing and then the explosive sort of charge at the bottom of it, and then a projectile that actually is what shoots out and kills you, and what hits the target. But with blanks, they have no projectile loaded into it, just the explosion. So the explosive goes off, but there's nothing to come out in a blank. However, almost every death that's occurred on film is with revolvers, because revolver has bullets exposed,
right?
So you can't put blanks in there because it will be very obvious that because you can see the projectile in the revolver itself. So they will have to swap in between shots to the blanks with the dummy rounds. And essentially what had happened was you got to clear the barrel and make sure there's nothing lodged in there. So they switched from like dummy rounds to blanks, and essentially they didn't clear the barrel, and there was still like a dummy round lodged in the barrel, or like just some kind of projectile was still in the barrel when they switched to the blanks. So now there's explosive charges. Right. So if something's in there, it's going to shoot it out, even though it's not technically a bullet. It acts like a bullet. Yeah. And they didn't clear the gun on set, this particular gun. And when they actually went to shoot the blank in the shot, a projectile came out and hit him and killed him.
Yeah, that was the scene where he gets shot in the hand, right? Like he puts his hand up to the gun and he's like,
Yes, that's what I've heard. Yeah, it went through,
And what a scene that was as well. Like he's laughing as it like really digitally closes.
The best.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's fucking... I mean, it's such a good... And these are the kind of movies, honestly, that I wanted to become an actor for.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I got here and they just don't make those movies anymore. It's tough, man. You know, like a lot of it, like you're saying, as a fan, but also as someone in the industry, it's like, I'm just not seeing the kind of IP that is inspiring and is exciting. And
did you see Talk to the Hand? The horror flick?
Talk to me.
Sorry.
Talk to me. That was fantastic.
That was awesome.
Yeah, like, it was super original, Australian
film.
Yeah.
The thing with me is like, I'm watching Lost at the moment with my son.
Okay. Never got into Lost, but
yeah. I loved Lost. There was that from that era where like Prison Break and Lost and like they were all out together. But like there's one, you know when you just hear an Australian accent amongst American accents and it just sounds piercing.
Is he supposed to be Australian?
She is, yeah. The whole thing is like they're all flying from Sydney, back to America or whatever. And there's one Australian on the plane. Anyway, but she's just it's like so. What are we going to do, guys? And it's just so much more piercing than normal. But you watch Talk to Me, it's all Australians. You don't really pick up on it.
It is crazy. I don't really know. I mean, it happens sometimes because even the writing is so like, Like when I audition for Australian content, I sound like, even I'm like, Jesus, I sound so fucking Australian.
Yeah.
Because it's written in a certain way that just makes you sound so Australian.
Yeah.
I know that sounds weird, but it really does. Like, why can't you just do your normal accent?
Yeah.
I do. But it's the intonations and the writing, it lends itself to such an ochre nature. And usually I'm playing a bad guy and shit like that. So it slips into that. But I know what you mean, man. It really is piercing. There is a way to do it. It's just it's a tale as old as time. Give a great visionary and a great director with a great team creative freedom and enough money to execute their vision, and you will reap the benefits. However, they don't know who everyone claims to be that visionary, and there needs to be a balance between commerce and the art. There needs to be, because if it goes too far into the artistry, you get 3.5 hour films that are made for no one, and they're fucking indulgent as shit, and they're crap and they're terrible, and then it's just like, Jesus Christ, what is this?
Yeah, and you hear those are the ones. He had a 2-hour standing ovation. at Cannes film.
No one sat down.
Who's standing to applaud for 2 hours? You know what I mean?
Freak, dude. People that are paid to stand up and applaud. Yeah. But then on the flip side, it's like if it's all commerce, then you get this shit where it's like, okay, well, who gives a fuck about the story? We'll just insert X, Y, and Z and tick the box. And on the charts, it shows that people get upset if we don't have this kind of character in there. And then, oh look, it was fucking terrible, and it was for no one, and there was no vision, there was no through line.
Yeah.
So it's that balance, man. And unfortunately, the film and TV industry of the last 10 years or so, ever since streaming sort of took over, is not a profitable industry to be in anymore. People on the other side are losing ridiculous amounts of money.
Well, they're also
constantly.
They're not willing to risk.
Because they're losing money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think because Mark Norman and Sam Morril are making a movie.
Yeah.
With the, I think they were already planning it long before, but with the success of Leslie Nielsen, what's his name?
Naked Gun.
Neeson. Yeah. Liam Neeson, yeah.
It was successful?
Apparently, people loved it.
Okay, I haven't seen
it either, but I've heard there was a lot of feedback about, I haven't heard laughter in a theater like that in years.
Sure.
And because they weren't making No,
they're not making comedies.
No, and because they're saying that no one wants to go to a theater to see comedy.
But it's not even that. It's because it is a bit of that, but it's also on the flip side. Why would someone go watch a comedy? Why do I have to go to the movies to watch? I can laugh from the comfort of my own home. Yeah. But
what a sucky
outlook.
Yeah,
totally it is. But also it becomes that thing where when then it's rare, then it becomes valuable again, and everyone wants to go see it again. And I want this feeling. That was great. Yeah. But also the writing rooms and studios and streaming services and stuff that make the executive decisions. We got to a period where quote unquote woke culture and cancel culture got so out of control that in comedies, the characters couldn't be unlikable. The characters couldn't do things that were funny, that were wrong, because that's offensive.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but they're supposed to be offensive. It's a comedy there. Right. And also, most likely, by the end of the film, they get their comeuppance because they are doing the wrong thing or behaving the wrong way. I mean, I always think of the Farrelly brothers, with things like Me, Myself, and Irene, Shallow Hal.
Right.
There's Something About Mary.
Yeah.
These great, great ensemble comedy pieces. And the characters said and did things that were not right. They were
American Pie.
Sure, and these things. But throughout the end of it, I'll use Shallow Hal as an example. He bases women purely off looks, even though he's a kind of ugly dude himself. And then he gets hypnotized by Tony Robbins, he sees all these the inside beauty as the outside, and it's incredibly fat phobic, the movie, and all these things. But by the end of it, it's like you realize that number one, it shows you at the beginning of the film the reason he's like that is based in trauma.
Right.
That his father died and was looping out on drugs and told him to just go for hot chicks. Yeah. And then by the end, he realizes the error of his ways, and he sees her exactly as she is physically, and he still loves her, and he goes off with her. So there is a positive message at the end, but throughout that journey, studios and comedy will not even allow bad guys or funny things to. They will not allow anyone to show the side of humanity that is not likable.
Yeah.
You know, which is, it's just, you're robbing people of the artifice.
That's it. Yeah,
you know,
there's no lesson learned. Like without that,
totally
setting it up. Like Sacha Baron Cohen's one for creating characters that, like, he's like making fun of these kind of people, right?
Yes.
So he's making fun of someone like Borat, right? There's people like this that exist in the world, and like how stupid is this person that he's this ignorant and racist or whatever. He's like, but he gets the flack. Because like, how can you be making fun of like? It's like, no, I'm using this guy to make fun of these people as to show how bad is this guy that he's you know. But so without like you said, without that setting it up, without the setup to the movie, they're going, look how bad this is really bad of this guy.
They want the result without the circumstance.
Yeah, that's it,
they're like, well, make a comedy, but offend no one. Yeah. Don't be naughty. We'll have likable characters, and also, you know, like there's going to be an Asian guy, a black chick, a gay person, and they're all friends. And I'm like, you know, human beings naturally don't gravitate towards other people. Like it's where we stick to our tribe a lot of the time. Like it just doesn't happen very often. You know,
and
what I
mean?
Like,
no one turned up to the movie. That's weird.
Yeah, it must have been the star of the film. Never hire the star of the film again. Back to it.
Yeah,
you know,
and that's the other thing they do is that they, especially like Netflix, they'll chuck in the bags of money at this one A-list,
right?
And then not all Netflix, I should say, but like, you know, there's like straight to whatever Netflix ones.
Yeah, Netflix originals. And
there's like there's a main actor, maybe one or two like A-list celebrities who you know, and then there's just like a bunch of people that you don't know. Right. So I think they have whatever the budget they want to go. We'll get, you know, Liam Neeson in because he's Liam Neeson. Yeah. He's a reputable, marketable name.
Yeah, the business side of things.
And then everyone else is unknown, right? So it's like.
And God bless that system, because that's how I got War Machine.
Yes.
Let's get one known guy and then a bunch of fucking cheap people that no one gives a shit about. They're going to do a great job. We can pay them, you know, pennies on the dime.
Yeah. Well, again, well done. So when does it come out?
Well, again, it's constant. They just don't update you. They don't give a shit. So the last I heard, I spoke to the director like a month ago when I finished ADR for the film. Yeah. And he said March or April is what Netflix are currently thinking of scheduling for release.
Is it the kind of film that you're going to do press tours for or anything like that?
So this is the other part of the industry which is crazy that no one knows about, is that like I am going to do my own press for the film. So I have to go and hire a publicist, which is... And this is the next big thing for me. The next big question is like, how much money do I spend on a publicist? Because again, publicists, there is no guarantee return of investment. Yeah. You pay them for 3 months' work and they do what they can for you. Yeah. And you don't get that money back. Yeah. So if they get you, you know, fucking 4 or 5 magazine covers and you do all this crazy press and it's just incredible and you like really help build your brand and your career, amazing. If they get you nothing, sorry, we tried. Yeah. And that's literally how it works. So because Netflix will not pay for me to do any press, because who the fuck am I? It doesn't benefit their product whatsoever. Yeah. But if I go and pay for my own press and it promotes their movie at the same time, fucking amazing. Thanks so much. Appreciate that. But like, you know, they'll pay for Alan Richardson to do it. Yeah. They'll even pay for maybe Jai Courtney was in the film. They might do stuff with him because he's known and he's a commodity. Yeah. He brings eyeballs to their product.
He's not doing a lot of stuff though, is he?
Jai? Yeah. Jai's done a fair bit lately. Like, I mean, he did like a movie that did really well at Cannes. Yeah. Dangerous Animals. Yeah. He looks like I think he's like a serial killer or something.
Yeah, on a boat?
Yeah. It looked really interesting. Yeah. He's doing a few things. Jai's a cool dude.
That's cool.
Jai's a cool guy.
I feel like I see a lot of Aussie guys like that seem like really cool dudes who do a couple of big things and then they sort of not disappear, but they go, I'm going to do the projects that I want to do now. Right? Yeah. So like, and he looks like one where he's like, I'm choosing to do this. He's pivoting
for
the character, you know?
Yeah, he's showing a different side of himself. Yeah. And look, man, again, these things are not linear, bro. Like, it's not like you did this, so that means the next step is this. It's just like, it's up in the air. Everything changes. I mean, I got a good friend, Daniel Weber, who, you know, he was in The Dirt with the Motley Crue Netflix film, and he played Lee Harvey Oswald in his sort of breakout role. He was in The Punisher opposite John Bernthal, was one of the bad guys in the first season. And he's done some incredible work and he's a great actor. And, you know, he was telling me stories about, you know, when The Dirt came out, he was playing the lead singer Vince Neil out of Motley Crue. Great. It was opposite Machine Gun Kelly and some great, it was a fantastic performance, fantastic film, but the film was received very poorly just in terms of it was right around the Me Too movement. It's about, you know, 4 rockers going out and fucking girls and doing drugs and being dickheads. Yeah. So it hurt his career for a while. Like the phone didn't ring for 18 months. Yeah. And his managers were like, dude, you're kind of damaged goods right now. And it's like, what do you mean? I did an amazing performance
Yeah.
in this huge Netflix movie. I didn't write the fucking movie. Like, how is it my fault? He's like, I know, dude. We're just like, it's not your fault, but it's how it works. So
it's how it's been received by the
yeah,
public. It's
so
like
there's
Sydney
just-
Sweeney doing that jeans commercial. It's like, all she did.
I mean, that helped her. If you know, like, Sydney Sweeney's hilarious, bro. It's so good. Like, no one. I just find it so hilarious that, you know, I mean, Sydney Sweeney is like a return to old Hollywood.
Yeah, right.
They were like, wait a second, what if we got like just like a super hot blonde with like perfect tits?
Do you think she'll get her tits out for us?
Yeah, it's
She
like,
sticks her head in the room. Yeah, no problem.
well, also she's like, you know, she's like she's not a bad actress by any standard, and you know, but it's just like, I just find it so funny that in this period of, you know, feminism and, you know, this push for whatever, women hate her, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, they hate her. It was a photo of a lineup of her at the where she wore that dress recently, the empowering women thing.
Yeah.
And you can see, like, in the eyes of all the other women in the photo, they are furious, dude.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, she's just like outshining them completely, just like not apologizing for whatever. And you know, they twist their words and like, you've given in to the patriarchy, you're sexualizing yourself, whatever. And I'm like,
the same women who are like, free the nip.
yeah,
you know?
totally. Like, do what you want, girlfriend, unless you're fucking making me feel like shit.
Free the nip is hilarious because, like,
New dog.
who's opposing this? Men aren't.
I don't know. Yeah, the Muslim community, I guess, is probably like, you put a fucking burqa on that nip right now.
I'm gonna put a nip on the thumbnail for this to make sure.
That nip's between me and Allah. Don't you dare. But anyways, so I mean, I can't remember even the point of that was, but yeah. I honestly,
sorry, Sydney Sweeney was
I was segueing out.
segueing from.
Big actors do these things. I did War Machine because of, you know, technicality, big star, the system that they build around this. I don't know. I mean,
She did a jeans ad because
right, yeah, things that are out of your control.
right.
You know, in your career that you know, you just do a great job. You turn up, you do the best job you can, and then everything else is kind of out of your hands. And
it's organized by. You're just doing the job. You've been cast.
I'm doing the job, man,
you know?
and I'm doing the best. And even within the job, you know, I mean, look, I'll give you an example as well with Netflix. So there were multiple scenes in this film where, like, my character doesn't like Alan's character, so I'm kind of there to kind of push up against him throughout the film. And there were moments. There's like 3 moments in the movie that we shot where Alan does something like super heroic, and everyone's like, "This guy's fucking crazy, man," and I'm like, "Fucking crazy ass, I fucking dickhead."
You did the
know,
American accent and everything.
I had to be Texan, I was like a Texan Southern accent,
Yeah.
so like I just hated him, right?
Right.
And it was like 3 moments where it was kind of the same moment. He does something, I don't like it. He does something, I don't like it. And there was one moment where like he did something that genuinely saved our lives.
Yeah.
And then like they wanted me to be like, fucking dick, you know, fucking dickhead. And I'm like, why would I be? Did I want him to die? Did I want us to die?
Saving our lives.
Yeah, son of a bitch, I'd rather be dead, you know? I mean, like, whatever the fuck it was. And I had a word to the director about this, and I was like, bro, I've done this moment twice already.
Yeah.
The audience is going to fucking hate me. Like, I can't do this again. And he pulled me aside and he was like, listen. These are like, some of the shit we're shooting is because Netflix demand it. But I'm going to take care of you in the edit. Don't worry. Like, when all 3 of these moments will not be in the movie, we might have 1 or 2, but we're just getting options, dude. Right. Like, I promise you, they were not going to be these 3 moments back to back to back. I wouldn't fucking take my own movie like this. And I'm like, all right, thanks for letting me peek behind the curtain. Thank you. He's like, some of the shit you're shooting and some of the things they request is coming from the people that are paying the money.
Right.
But then you might have a director that kind of pulls you aside and says, listen, out of respect, I'm going to shoot the thing that they want me to shoot, but I'm not going to put that in the fucking movie. Just do it for me. We'll do the little dance because they gave us $130 million.
Yeah.
And then I'll promise I'll take care of you. And then he could turn around and fuck me over and be like, all 3 movies, you know, and people go, your character's a little bitch. And I'm like, I fucking protested that would happen, you know.
We were all in the same scene as well. It was just back to back.
Yeah, back to back, him doing cool shit, fucking my girlfriend, I'm like, dickhead. She didn't deserve that orgasm.
You didn't save me. I could have saved myself. Bitch.
Yeah, and you know, there were also, I mean, this is what's so exciting about the film industry as well, was that there were moments where, you know, there were moments where, I mean, this director, I mean, he was great. He had a great vision, and he knew what kind of movie he wanted to make. But in terms of like performance, you know, he wasn't the kind of dude who was like, "Hey, man, like, if you gave him the basic, obvious version of whatever was on the page, he'd be like, "Yep, awesome, great, love it." He assumes that's what you're capable of. Great, moving on. So I would often come with like an idea that maybe was what I thought was like the same moment, but maybe a little bit better, or I would do it in my own way, and all these kind of things. And I would rely on him to be like, "Hey, man, let's try it a different way now, or let's do this." And yeah, so I would have these things, but there was a moment I remember we were shooting this scene where it was like it's early in the movie, but it's like we're running along and there's the full unit and it's this cool shot and it's basically my character. He's into conspiracy theories and all this stuff, and he's theorizing that, you know, once we become Rangers, that we're going to have a little bit more of government access. They're going to start telling us the truth about some shit. And the rest of the unit are like, you're out of your mind. All these kind of stuff. But the whole point of it, this scene in particular, was to, number one, there was exposition that we needed to get for the audience to know. And two, it was kind of this character moment to let you know that everyone in the unit kind of shits on this guy. They love him, but they think he's a bit of a dickhead.
Right.
And it was an opportunity for me to do a little bit of improv, and I added some comedic flair to it. And they were running behind on this day, and it was like the weather was like rain was coming, all this shit, and the director was stressed. And I remember he was like, "Hey man, Blake, just like speed it up." And that can be a thing. You're just doing it too slow.
Yeah.
So I speeded up a little bit, and then it got to the point where I couldn't go any faster because it was like my lines. There was like 3 or 4 different thoughts, and if you start blending multiple thoughts together, it becomes gibberish.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh man, like." I remember just feeling stressed, and I thought what I was doing was fucking amazing. Like I thought I was like, my instincts were like, this is good. And anyways, this other guy on the film, who was technically the number 2, his name's Stephen James, incredible actor. He could see that I was stressing, so I was like, fuck, I don't know what to fucking give this motherfucker. Like I'm giving him everything. And then he just pulled me, he just whispered in my ear, he was like, dude, you are fucking killing this scene. I'm telling you, you're doing it. Don't worry about a thing.
Yeah.
He's stressed about other shit. Like, just keep doing the thing.
Yeah.
And eventually he'll be like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right. And I did it again, exactly the same as I did before. And the director started laughing. Was like, that's awesome. Love that shit. And like moved on. And I was like, holy crap, man. Like I thought it was me and I had to change all this shit. But there's these other things going on. And that's a pro move that he recognized. It's actually, what you're doing is perfect. He's just stressed about other shit. You just need to keep showing him the thing and maybe tweak it a little bit here and there, but don't throw everything out and try all over again. I guess it's like, you know, maybe the first time you try a joke and it doesn't land and then you go, I'm never doing that joke again. It's like, dude, you did it to 3 people in a pub. Yeah, that's right. You know, that didn't want to be there, were trying to watch the horse racing. Maybe try the joke again. Yeah. And if it doesn't work in a big comedy club when people are paying attention, then maybe it sucks.
Have you ever seen yourself in an edit in the final product of a TV show or a movie and going, oh, they went with that take?
I mean, when I did ADR for War Machine, because I have to do the voiceover and stuff for certain, you know, scenes. I've seen some of the cut and I was like, fuck. Yeah. They cut that little moment. We did that little fucking thing. Or that's pretty fast. Yeah. This moment. I remember we shot that for fucking 3 hours. And yeah, there was like, you know, because I remember, you know, doing different versions of certain takes. But ultimately, man, my job is to offer ingredients and to offer these options. And then it's up to him, however he wants to piece it together. But I am confident enough to say that, you know, I don't think, no matter what the edit is, just because I know what we shot on any given day, I don't think there's a way that people watch this and go, this guy's fucking trash. Yeah. You know, like, this kid has no idea what he's doing. I was confident that I didn't give them anything that they could edit that would make me look like absolute shit. Outside of maybe the movie doesn't do great. Yeah. You know, but I loved it, man. It was the best. I woke up every day just having one fucking goal, just being like, let's build this scene. And then I would go to work and there'd be fucking Black Hawk helicopters parking up. They're like, that's for this. And they get you into makeup. And then I would fucking meet up with the director and we would go to like, you know, for example, there'd be a scene at like a village that's been destroyed. Yeah. And then we would drive 20 minutes up this mountain to a village that they've built and then set on fire and it's destroyed. And I rock up and there's Alan Richardson and all of us. And then the director comes over and he's like, all right, guys, here's the scene for today. Like, what do we think? Like, Blake, what do you think, man? Like, what do you come in here? Hey, like you maybe come in from this side and then the camera guy's there and you're like, yeah. And then you add a little idea. Like maybe I'll come down here and I'll crouch and I'll look up that. He's like, yeah, great. All right, we'll bring the camera in and we'll capture that moment for you. Yeah. And you're just like, holy shit, this is crazy. Yeah. And then
it's not storyboarded?
It is, but within the structure, now that they're actually practically on the location, things change. Oh, well, actually, the sun here, this shot's going to be better. Right. The camera team work together with the director and the actors. And most of the time, you're just fitting yourself into it. Yeah. But it's fucking awesome, bro. And it's like, you know, you look around, there's a crew of, 300 people. And often, as long as it made sense for the story and it wasn't just you putting a hat on a hat for no reason, I'd be like, I think it works better for me. It makes it so much easier if I'm here and I do it in this way. And they go, well then awesome, we'll cater to that. Yeah. It was fucking dope, bro.
So is this the thing you're my wife probably. Is this the thing you're looking forward to the most to seeing, like out of the other projects you've done? Because Invisible Boys you did,
yeah,
and you did Mystery Road and stuff. Was that? Is this fair to say this is like the meatiest?
100%.
Yeah, things.
Yeah, I shot for 3.5 months. I was like, it was a way more substantial role.
Yeah,
it was the kind of story that I'm interested in. It's like an action sci-fi.
It's theaters as well.
Well, this is the thing. So, I mean, this is subject to, we'll have to see. But when we wrapped the film, they said, that this was going to be the first Netflix original or Netflix project that they would do an Australian cinema release before they went to Netflix. Oh, wow. Only in Australia, not in the US. It's not profitable to do in the US. But we'll have to see. Things change, man. Budgets move. Different things happen, but it would be awesome if they did it. I mean, we'll have premieres in the cinemas and stuff, but whether it actually has a cinema run or it just goes straight to streaming. But yeah, this was definitely the thing that I'm most excited to see. But at the same time, it's a bit of mental gymnastics, bro, because I got to manage my own expectations, you know, and I got to remember that this is not my movie.
Yeah, right. And then so you're saying you did ADR, so you got to see
clips and bits and it looks fucking amazing.
That's awesome. So you get the vibe of what it's going to look like anyway.
Yeah, and then great. Even then it's like, but I'm only seeing, little 20-second grabs of lines that I need to record.
And you're just recording like grunting and shit? Like
yeah, for sure. There's stuff of like, us in fucking rapids, like, oh my God, all this kind of shit. So, yeah, man, it's going to be a fun movie. I think it's one of those ones where people will know kind of going in what kind of movie it is, but then they'll be surprised as well. I mean, the director, his name's Patrick Hughes. He did The Hitman's Bodyguard with Ryan Reynolds, and he did I think with Kevin Hart and Woody Harrelson. He also did his original film, which I encourage everyone to go check out. It's one of the great Australian movies. It's called Red Hill. It was with Ryan Quanten, Steve Bisley, who I actually worked with on Mystery Road. And anyways, he mortgaged his house to make this movie. Wow. Just kind of rolled everything on it. And when the movie was done and they took it to shop, like to sale, there was a bidding war. It broke records. Yeah, they bid over this movie, and it's a fucking great Australian movie, man. It was made in like 2010. Yeah, it's like 15 years old. But I remember I hadn't watched it, and then I was on production. I was like, better fucking check out this movie that Patrick did. And I was like, holy shit, this guy's a genius. This is sick. Because it's kind of like a movie within a movie. The film starts and you kind of go, oh, okay, I know what this kind of movie is going to be. And then 20, 30 minutes in, it completely turns and you're in a new genre. Yeah. Like it turns into this whole new genre. And you're like, what the fuck? And then it has just this, like, I don't see many directors and many films lately that it's clever and it's original and there's like multiple genres within the one. Like, so for example, like we're talking about with The Crow, this is a fucking revenge story where he pulls the fucking heroin out of a woman's arm and rats off some poetry. It's like a drama in that moment. Yeah. It's kind of like that in the sense that, he's combining horror with action, with sci-fi, with little elements of drama. So if he pulls it off, I think it's going to be at minimum a very, very fun watch where people will be like, dude, that was great. Like for a movie that was shot in Australia and New Zealand, big action star, that was a fucking great movie. I enjoyed that. I had fun. Yeah, awesome. And I think that's valuable. Yeah. Rather than just kind of going and watching these new movies that just feels like it's soulless and there's no vision and it's just like, this was just a money grab, wasn't it? This was just like fucking
everything my wife watches. Yeah.
Yeah, man. But in the meantime, I'm just going to keep keeping on.
Yeah, sweet. Have you got anything planned with comedy, with specials or anything like that? If you've built a nice chunk, you reckon you could do anything filmed anywhere?
I think I could probably, I could put together like a nice 30 to 40 minutes that I could probably film of like stuff that's like tried and true and bangers and maybe film something. To be honest, man, I'm pretty, I'm a lazy fuck and I've been very business mindset. That's why I admire what you're doing, dude. Like you do the music and you fucking hustle and you make money off that, and then you putting all this into the podcasting and then you do your stand up. And for me, I kind of I got really fatigued of just trying to make something out of everything that I was interested in and just trying to, like just make everything into something good rather than just do the thing. And so if we stand up, essentially is my long way of saying I should put together things and take these steps to kind of build my career. But right now I'm just trying to keep gigging, keep writing.
Yeah, that's it.
Don't wait for the phone to ring, but I just take things as they come and
be ready when it does.
Be ready, I guess. And and like, I've never I've never taken, like, I don't reach out to bookers for gigs and all this stuff. And if I want to step my career up to the next level and, like, tour internationally, I need to take these leaps and do these things. And it's just not in my short-term plan.
Yeah, okay.
You know, for now, I just want to keep gigging and then maybe jump on board with, like, a great comic who's doing way better than me and maybe see if I can open for him. And you know,
Shane Gillis loves to support Aussie comics.
Yeah, I mean, he's I mean, and you've seen what's happened with James McCann, who's one of the goats.
He's killing it over there now. Like James McCann came on Kill Tony, but even like Wolfie was on Kill Tony and as like a guest, not even as an open mic. So.
And I think a lot of it, you know, and I've spoke to Wolfie about this at length. It's like McCann, for my money, James McCann's the best comic in the country, like hands down. I think that and it's just my taste, but he's just a weapon at all things. He's just an incredibly intelligent mind. He can do, you know, physical comedy. He's great at joke writing. He's super intellectual to go into these really in-depth topics. He can just do it all. Yeah. And so when his opportunity came through Shane, and he was ready, man.
He was ready to go. Yeah.
He had hours of content, and like he had such a specific voice that. Now he's catching fire with all this opportunity because he has the skill set and the point of view and the means to do it. Yeah. And same with Wolfie. It's like Wolfie is so specific. No one else is like Wolfie. Yeah. No one. And you can just tell that American sort of Kill Tony, Shane Gillis market would fucking love him. Yeah. He's insane. He's a weird guy.
Yeah, the panel was like, sometimes he would just do his Wolfie scream and they'd be like, what the fuck?
What is going on? It's like, I've never seen this shit. And we all love it and know it in Perth. Yeah. And so I guess it's you know, I'm really excited for Wolfie. I think good things are going to come.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we'll wrap up anyway. But okay, so when your movie comes out in March, April
next year, I think. Yeah. It's called War Machine.
And when Blake blows up, which is going to be like any second now, come back and watch this, and you'll see this is
surely, brother.
I was avoiding the word surely. Inevitably, you know, we'll just
at some stage. Who knows what it looks like at some stage.
Come back and look at this podcast of him chatting about, wouldn't that be great? Surely it's going to happen.
Look at him just shitting on the industry and just being like, nothing's getting made. That's the reason I'm not a fucking star.
Accent is shit. There's no talent.
It's all just great. You got to graduate from this country. Fuck Australia. Then I'll just be doing a Tourism Australia ad, like, come on down to the great.
So you want a Dosonia ad?
Nah, for sure. Well, thanks for having me on, man.
No, thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
Thanks for chatting. Let me chat shit. I mean, again, I'm under no illusion. I don't know if this is interesting to anyone. You know, my particular fucking points of view on stuff. But yeah, man, I'm just having fun. Kudos to you. Again, I say 1,000 times, but just for doing shit. You know, having a turn at bat. One thing I really admire and that I've learned from a lot of my friends in MMA and even fighting MMA is that there's this profound sense of value placed on just trying. And I know that sounds very basic, but in a sport like MMA, there is no guarantees. And I think Australian culture, one of the big cultural problems we have is that we want certainty. It's a human thing as well, but we really want... You know, mate, no, you go to the mines, you do the fucking, you do that, you get the house, you go for the guaranteed thing. You don't like the missus, who cares about that? You get a fucking kid, fuck what you feel, mate. You fucking lock in. And, you know, there's this sort of like templates that you got to follow. And it's like win or lose. Australians are very much like, you take a risk and it pays off, hey, good move. If it doesn't pay off, buddy, done that. Yeah, we shouldn't have done it. No one rewards the try. Yeah. No one's like, that guy's out there trying. Fuck yeah. Look at him. Keeping the passion alive.
Yeah. I mean, like, I hear stories all the time of, like, people that have made it. Yeah. And then that's when people start reaching out. Always. High school people, exes, whatever, going, 100%. I saw you on blah, blah, blah. Yeah. You know, so it's funny because they wait. Everyone has a wait and see before I support kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Or they just don't care. You know.
I think that's mainly it as well. I don't think people. I mean, it's definitely 99.9% that people just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, no. And they've got their own shit going on.
And then when it is forced into their reality, like they see you in a fucking movie trailer or you're a Netflix special, whatever, they go, holy shit! Yeah. Hey, look at that! I better reach out and say good job. And it's coming from a great place, and I think that is most cases. But there is, you know, the case with maybe sort of the older generation or people or friends who don't get it, who are not industry minded, or they're just very wrapped up in the Australian way of thinking, which is, what's the way forward? How do you what's your plan here?
Yeah.
And in this industry, the reason it is so hard is that there is no plan. Nothing's guaranteed. No, nothing means anything. Yeah. You just got to put one foot in front of the other.
Just be ready.
And if it catches fire, it doesn't. But even if it doesn't, you're better off for it because you gave it a red hot crack. Yeah. And at worst, once you've failed, you can then go and do the thing that everyone's saying to do.
Yeah, that's it.
Go and fucking just not care about shit as much anymore and just make a paycheck and drink beers at the pub and relax.
Fine. Because like, I think Australians as well have such that laid back, like Aussies feel so blessed or whatever or privileged that how lucky we that we're Australia. We live in the greatest city and the greatest country in the world, right? So like, first time me and my wife did a trip to America, I came back to work and I was talking to a customer and they were like, how much did you spend? I told them how much we spent for like a 7-week holiday.
Right.
And they were like, why would you spend that much? I'd rather just go down to Margaret River for the weekend.
I'm like, you'd spend the same. Margaret, have you fucking been to Margaret River, dude? It's the most expensive fucking shit in the world.
Yeah, but some of them just don't have that thing where they like want to see the world or they want to accomplish things.
No, totally.
So even this was very. I'm not a big like put myself out there kind of guy.
Sure.
In fact, it's a bit weird. The industry that I'm in, music, like all performative. Right. I don't like being the center of attention. I don't like the spotlight being on me. I don't like people looking at me.
Right.
So like. Or complimenting me. I don't take compliments well, but I've chosen to do these things where that's a given. It's like a byproduct of it.
Sure.
But I don't. But it's because the performative stuff is more of a attractive thing to me.
Yeah.
Right. So like, I don't know. I think, like you said, people sometimes just have that thing in their head where it's like, this is how you live life, right? You're born here, wherever, you get a job, you get your missus, you get a down payment on a house, you spend the next 60, 70 years paying off the house, and then you retire in this area, a little further away from where you grew up.
Sure,
you know? And
absolutely.
And then that's it, and I was like...
And you know what? I mean, I used to have a lot of anger towards that because I used to be like, you fucking idiots. And I'm like, God bless them. If that's how you want to live and it's simple and you get to avoid all this fucking anxiety, why the fuck wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You know, it's sweet, but... I think, with the arts is a very weird thing where people feel comfortable and confident and they don't feel like a dickhead offering you advice and speaking on the industry that they know absolutely nothing about and offering you a way forward. If it was any other job, they would never do it.
No.
Like if you were a project manager or on like a trade... And you would just been like, I'm just, this project's fucking killing me. I can't see it. And they were like, mate, well, you know what you should do? You should head down there and fucking, tell, you have no idea about this industry. How could you offer any advice? But because people watch movies and they've made a joke before in their life, they're like, I feel confident giving you advice on how to progress your career. Yeah. And I think there should be a big cultural shift where we shame those people to the point of suicide. Because I'm like... You should feel ashamed. You should feel like, especially like, even like my girlfriend's parents, my in-laws are like, well, you know what you should do? You should fucking go to LA and just like knock on doors. Like I've heard people just knock on doors. I'm like, that's genius, dude. I'll just fly to LA and I'll just knock on like executives' doors and they'll open the door and I'll just be like, I'm here.
Yeah.
And they'll be like,
weren't you expecting me?
They just think that. And I'm like, you know what you should fucking do, man? You should just like find the address of like Twiggy Forrest and just like knock on his door and be like, I want to manage a multi-million-dollar project. You know what I mean? Because that's essentially what you're doing. Like, give me a multi-million-dollar project. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's just the people, it's particularly frustrating. And again, people want to make sense of it because they want to relate to you, hence the surely. And they say, well, hey, man, you did this big movie. I understand that that's valuable. Yeah. This must mean good things.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's tough to then turn and say, thank you so much. It's a great opportunity. It's very exciting. Yeah. We'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah.
We'll see what happens.